Okay, we are live here. The question is, us as individuals, who are we? Are we really who we are being identified by? Who really, like, who are we really? What, guys? What's your take on that?
That's an interesting one. Do you want to say something?
Let me think about it.
Okay. In the meantime, I guess I'll just be saying who I think we are as individuals. Because
Okay.
in the morning I had an interview and they were like, "Who is Justice?" And my answer was like, "Justice is just a spiritual being who's walking on this earth in the form of a human being." You see, I feel like a lot of us we confuse who we are as individuals. We confuse who we are as human beings. Many a times you find that when someone asks you who is Agreement, right? You're like, Agreement is studying BXI, accounting science. Agreement is doing second year, right? Agreement comes from this place. Agreement is a black person. Agreement is this and that. But if you think deeply about that, is that really who you are? Or does that make you who you are? Or is that just things that you found on this earth? If those things were not there on this earth, would that be you? Who would you be in that case? You see, if you woke up and found that no, now you can't study for accounting science at Wits University, like we usually say, I'm a student at Wits University, would that make you who you are? Now who would you be in the absence of all of those things? You see, I feel like that's something that we always confuse as human beings. We always confuse who we are to the things that we're doing. We don't necessarily know the difference between who I am and what am I doing. And that's a very interesting discussion I feel we're having tonight. I don't know, what's your take?
I think the thing is the problem, but then I don't want us to focus mostly on the problem. I feel like I said earlier, when you're born, people or the world, they're trying to identify us. Like from the second you are born, they give you identifications like you are a male, you are a female, you are black, you are African, you are short and stuff. Like they give you these worldly identifications, whereas you are not. I think we are not these physical things that we see, because I don't think we are physical. I don't think we are physical. I think we are spiritual.
Yes,
Spiritual
I agree
beings.
with that. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know why people usually prefer using physical things to describe us, since we are not physical.
Yes.
So because I feel like that I think this actually, even this system of identifying us, somehow it is a, what is it? There's some way it can describe like everything. Like for instance, if I say Justice or Joseph is short, you might go to America, you find there's someone who's shorter than you. Like, will you still say Justice is short? You see,
That's interesting.
you see. So, Justice is short, like where he is. So I wouldn't say the way.
So it's basically based on where you are.
where
really.
you are. Yeah, I wouldn't say the way people identify us is effective.
Yeah, like let's look at the scenario where Agreement dies, right?
Yeah.
And at this point we're saying Agreement is dead, and we're in a hospital, right? We can see Agreement is there, we can see the body is there, but we're saying Agreement is dead. Then if we are saying Agreement is dead, then what are we saying? You see,
Yeah.
you see
Character or
what died in him, you see, but the body is there. Then how is it that then in this world we identify people like if we say who is Agreement, we say he's this and that, but like when he dies we're like he is dead, but the body is there.
The body's there.
And then you ask yourself, is my face who I am? Is my skin color who I am? Is my religion who I am?
No.
You have to ask yourself such things. Now it gets interesting when it comes to that, you see,
Yeah.
because at this point you look into you look at yourself and you're like, okay, when I stand up to the mirror, do I say this is who I am. You know, is this just is this body me? Like, am I this body? You know, because I feel like that's where this system of imperfections and perfections comes in. That's where we don't feel enough of ourselves. Does the spirit ever not feel enough? The only time the spirit will never be fulfilled is when you are not fulfilling it, right? You see, that's why when you look into things like me right now, I'll buy a Mercedes car, right? And then when I buy a Mercedes car right there, and then did I fulfill the spirit?
No.
Or did I fulfill myself? Or did I fulfill the body, the desires? You know, am I my desires?
No.
You see, am I my desires? I feel like we need to have such a distinction. You know, you see, I look into my skin color. I look at my skin color rather, and I am black. But is this justice? I feel like the physical being is just something to describe, to say, oh, that's how we identify, just because the spirit can't go on its own. Like, it cannot walk this earth on its own. Because if the spirit was not, if the body was not there, then justice will exist. But would you guys know who justice is? Would you know who he is?
No.
You see, you wouldn't be able to see to know who he is. So it goes to show that the body is just a form of identification. To say, oh, when we see that face, then we know it's familiarity.
That's familiarity.
You know, we know that's whoever, that's agreement. But now the spirit, you cannot identify the spirit. You see, you can't identify the spirit. You can't look at the spirit and be like, that's justice. You see, which is why it goes to show how much we live fake lives. You know, it goes to show how much we live fake lives to please the body. You see, we do all of these things to please the body, but does the spirit get fulfilled?
No.
You see, you have to ask yourself that does my spirit get fulfilled? You see, such things. Which is why one best way to feed the spirit is to starve the body. Starve the body of your desires. You see, starve the body of your desires. Feed the spirit. You see, so that's another way. I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add? I feel like when I start talking, hey, I talk.
Joseph, do you have something to say?
So, like, what you're saying is that we identify the spirit through your body.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if the body was not there, you wouldn't be able to say, oh, that's justice.
Okay.
You see. But now that the body is there, you're like, oh, we see him. That's him. But am I really my body? You see. That's why let's look into a situation where if people who believes in Christianity, you see, they say a person dies and the spirit goes to heaven, but the body stays underground. Then who is justice there?
Justice between the two.
You see, who is justice between the two there? If my spirit is going to heaven and it's gonna be recorded as justice up there, then
What's this body?
who is this body then? You see, that's an interesting one. You look into other religions where they believe in this thing of reincarnation. I don't know if I'm calling it. Yes. Where they say that your spirit gets, it borns again as another person. Then if the spirit lives on, then
Who was that?
And
then who is this one?
who is this one now? You see, it goes to show that the spirit does not have any gender. The spirit does not have any religion. It does not have any form of these things, race. It does not have any of those things.
True.
You see, which is why us we like to complicate things. We complicate situations that aren't easy. Like,
So meaning we were there before our body.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
We were
Yeah.
there before we were born.
exactly.
Meaning like we were somewhere.
Okay. I mean, if you look into the religious Bible, like the Christianity, if you go into Christianity, they say that God knew you before you were born. Who did he know? Did he know the body? Did he know the body? You see, it's interesting. Did he know the body?
Yeah. And I feel like this is an interesting topic, because I feel like if we're not identified with the physical world, our body, our skin color, we won't be dealing with racism.
No, we wouldn't. No,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Perfectly agree. The reason why we face this thing of racism is because now we want to classify people. Classicism is our problem.
Yeah.
We want to classify. Oh, we see your face looks this way, so you're black. Oh, you're light skinned and whatever, so you're white. Oh, okay, maybe light skinned, maybe not. Maybe that's a bad example. But yeah, you see, we classify things, we classify people. Oh, so you are. You see, these things, this classicism, sexuality, gender, all of these things, religion, race. You see, it's. I think it's a way of separating people. It's a way to separate ourselves. But if we forget about all of those things and go back to who we really are, the essence of what makes me who I am, who really I am, then how are you gonna classify me as another person? How do you even judge me? How do you even judge the spirit?
You can't judge.
You can't.
Yeah.
How do you even judge the spirit?
I feel like when you are spirit, when you are spirit and when I'm spirit and when we are all spirits, I feel like we're all one thing.
Yeah.
And then there's no way you can judge, because if you judge the other thing, you are judging your image. You are judging yourself.
Yeah. You see, the same way. I mean, like if you go into you judging yourself, I think the people who judge other people, these are people who don't want to accept things as themselves.
Yeah.
Life is a reflection. So if you're gonna judge me based on this thing, then it's something that you don't want to accept in yourself. You see, it's a reflection of your own self.
Yes.
You see, we judge the things we don't want to accept about other people in ourselves. You see, so it's an interesting topic, man. It's an interesting topic. I love this topic.
Yeah. So Joseph, do you have something to
I'm still stuck on who are we?
Okay, maybe I should ask you, who are you?
Yes.
That is why I'm saying I'm still stuck, because I cannot identify myself as a spirit, and myself as the whole body like this. So when it comes to let me give you example. When it comes to, I heard you saying that we are identified. I mean, the spirit is identified by. I mean, the spirit is identified through your body.
You need the body to say, oh, okay, we see. That's justice. Because if the spirit was on its own, you wouldn't be able to see me.
Sure.
You see?
Sure.
Because the spirit is not tangible.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that you have your own character, right? So your character identifies who you are.
Isn't that the beauty of things, that the character, you see, in the character, the spirit on its own, I feel like the spirit wants, our spirits,
sure,
they all long for one thing. You see, they all long for the same things. You see, but then the character comes in the form of me looking at how other people are, and then I try to identify myself with them. You see, and then okay, I carry this character now. You see, oh, I am funny. You see, I am all of these things. You see, these are things that are here. These are things that are here. You see, so character, yes, it's an important part of who we are as people.
Okay.
You see, but yeah.
But I feel like character results from your mind. You see, so and your mind, like definition of your mind, I think I would say it's see all the things that you've accumulated outside. They make your mind.
Yes, and that builds your character. Yes, out of that then leaves the person you think you are.
And you can't say something which you've accumulated from outside. You can't say that's you. You can't say that's your character.
That's an interesting one. You see, another problem that a lot of us, we face is that we don't want to be by ourselves. We don't want to get to know ourselves. You see, I have this quote, my own quote, that says, I appreciate, I really love your knowledge of economics, your knowledge of accounting, your knowledge of philosophy and all of those things. Yes, I love that. But you can impress me more by your own knowledge. Like, you knowing yourself. I feel like that's the only way to really impress me.
Yeah, I know.
You see, I'm more impressed than you knowing yourself. You see, self-knowledge, self-realization. You see, we want to know all of these things, but do we know ourselves? You see, I mean, maybe if you spent the same amount of time that you spent trying to know economics, to know yourself, maybe, you see, the same amount that you invest in trying to know accounting, whatever that we do, maybe invest the same amount of time trying to know yourself also. I feel like that's the only way. Know your spirit. Know what makes you tickle. You see, know these things, these small things about ourselves. You see, we are losing touch of who we are. We are losing touch with our own higher selves. You see.
But like, how will you know that what your spirit wants?
How would you not know if you? How would you know if you don't spend time with yourself? And how would you not know if you spend time with yourself?
No, it's a difficult question.
So what you're saying is we must spend time with ourselves. We must spend more time.
But no, really, you do need to spend time by yourself. You do need to enjoy your own company. You do need to do some things by yourself. You see.
Speaking about that, well, obviously, if I'm alone, obviously, you see what you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be on my phone when I'm alone.
Isn't that a defense mechanism? Isn't that you running away from yourself?
It is. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
You see, Sandy saw the other day was like, maybe the reason why you bought those expensive Nike shoes is because you're trying to run away faster from yourself. Maybe that's why. You see, so we occupy ourselves with all of these things. We forget to make time for ourselves. We forget simple things as meditating. Simple things as meditating. You know, it doesn't need any money. You don't need any money to meditate. You don't need a small effort, really. just a bit of your time, Jay. Meditate. Get to know yourself. Get to know who you really are. You know, what you really want as a person. Exactly. Things like that. How do you answer those questions? Like, the greatest sin that we do as human beings is to live a life that is not our own.
Yeah.
A non-purposeful life. You see, a life that does not have any purpose in it. That's the greatest thing that we make as people. And the minute we realize, why do you exist? Why are you here on this earth? Like, what? Why would God, if you believe in God, why would God make such a decision to say, hey, agreement, go to earth? For you to do what? Why are you here on this earth? You see? So, yeah, we need to get to know ourselves. We need to get to know who really is the essence of what makes us, you know, who really is justice. You know, beyond the skin that I see, beyond the skin color, beyond the sexuality, beyond the religion, beyond the gender, who really is justice? You see? So yeah. That has been an interesting talk. I feel like we should continue this some other time. But for now, thank you guys for listening to this, and we are sure to impress you with. Well, we're not trying to impress you anyway, but we are sure to release more and more podcasts based on subjects like this. We feel like these are things that we need to talk about as human beings, instead of us sitting down there and talk about our next beer. You know, when are we getting our next beer? When are we? You see the things that we do. When are we going out? When are we getting girls? Such things. These are conversations that we should be having, you see, as people. So thank you guys for listening. Otherwise, we'll see you.
Well, we are with
we are with Joseph. What's his name? We're with Joseph Sekhukhune, Agreement Shokane, and that's Justice Sambo. See you guys. Bye.